Hello everyone, welcome to this weekend edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bable Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the news, 600 million francs CFA has never been stolen at the residence of the ambassador of the Republic of Cameroon in Gabon. Equinoxe television went fact-checking allegations on this issue, and we're going to tell you the outcome of our findings. In this edition of the 6 p.m. newscast, the population of Equinoxe village in the Bangem subdivision, southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, are sending distress calls to local and administrative authorities over underdevelopment challenges worsening their already difficult living conditions. And in sports, the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon will be locking horns with Gabon in a World Cup qualification game at the Olembe Stadium in Yaoundé later tonight. Without the local press and journalists have been condemning and decrying what is considered as an attack on press freedom and the right to information. Stay with us. Underdevelopment challenges are worsening the already difficult living conditions of the population or inhabitants of Equinoxe village in Bangem subdivision, southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. The inhabitants of that administrative unit are sending distress calls to the Yaoundé administration to save them from their difficult living conditions being made much more difficult by underdevelopment challenges. Charles Ekome reports.
Distress call from the inhabitants of Equinoxe in Bangem subdivision, Kupe Maninguba division of the southwest region. According to these locals, the lone bridge linking the community of Equinoxe to other parts of the division hasn't been completed ever since the project was initiated in 2008.
Government give it this bridge, it don't be 12 years.
The government disbursed money for the contractors of this bridge. It's been 12 years today and the bridge hasn't been completed. With the inhabitants of the locality work together with the contractor, but the bridge has been abandoned ever since.
This bridge may be a permanent bridge.
Other locals describe the nightmares which they have to go through on a daily basis as a result of this dilapidated bridge.
The medication you see me rubbing on my palms is due to the wounds I get when holding the ropes on the bridge. Some children even fall off the bridge into the Mongo River, and we never get to see their corpses again.
I worked on this project when I was younger. I believed that a community would be developed, but the contractor abandoned us all. Equinoxe Television also got in contact with the contractor of the project to get his own version of the story. At the moment of this report, the contractor, who is anonymous, says he met with the Minister of Public Works as well as the regional delegate of Public Works for the Southwest region, who have approved the grading of a 30 kilometers farm to market road at Equinoxe. Moreover, according to him, the works on the bridge will immediately resume as soon as the rainy season is over. Inhabitants therefore keep their fingers crossed, awaiting the promised development.
Cases of arbitrary arrest, detention, and violation of laws of the land and also international laws ratified by the Republic of Cameroon continue increasing. They have been reported at close intervals of time in the country, in different parts of the country, and the latest concerns an issue between two brothers who are fighting over properties left behind by their late father, and one of them was arrested and detained, and his arrest and detention has been qualified by legal experts as arbitrary in violation of the laws of the land. Details with Manjik and Gabriel.
Dimitri Esomba Mbezele in tears as he doubts if he will be in school come Monday when the academic year resumes. The teenager's father, Jules Mbezele, is behind bars over property dispute with his stepbrother, Pierre Ibanda. The new school year starts soon, and there is no one to pay my tuition fees. My father has been arrested and mother sick in the village. My father has been locked for nothing. The sister of Dimitri, Marthe Murel, says his father has been held for unclear charges. My father is innocent. He is being kept behind bars for no crime committed. My father should be set free. The origin of this battle involving two stepbrothers, Jules Mbezele and Pierre Ibanda, dates as far back as 2015, when the head of the family, Mbezele Robert, died. Days after he died, the first wife with whom he had divorced and son, Pierre Ibanda, appeared, asking the second wife and kids to stay off properties left by Robert Mbezele. Since our father died on 8 July 2015 when he was sick, our stepbrother Ibanda Pierre was in Europe. The reason for their clash is because of the properties left behind by late Robert Mbezele. Stores on hire at the Dakar main market, a family resident, and the social insurance benefits. We were informed on Saturday, August 7, that he was picked up at Ndokoti about taking his lunch. We were told that elements of the Gendarmerie Research Unit of Ndogbat helped their colleagues of Ngumu to do the arrest.
Qui a prêté main forte à la gendarmerie de Vinci et Pangoumou dans le centre qui est venu l'interpeller.
The tussle of the late father's property led to the summoning of Jules Mbezele by 5 different gendarmerie brigades, which did not work. Finally, it is at Ngumu in Yaoundé that Pierre Ibanda will get an order to detain his stepbrother Jules Mbezele, signed by Nso Bienvenu, who works at the Ngumu court. But unfortunately, the paper signed by the court based in Yaoundé contained the stamp of the court of first instance in the West region, ordering them to arrest someone in Douala. The days ahead remain unpredicted as the battle continues.
At the time when the number of accidents recorded on highways across the Republic of Cameroon is increasing, accidents recorded at close intervals of time, there are concerns about the security and safety of students and pupils streaming in great numbers into agencies across the country, especially here in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, to return to the areas of residence ahead of school resumption. However, some of the transport agency officials are raising the point that they have put in place all security measures. They are reassuring commuters, travelers, that all security measures have been put in place to ensure a safe journey for all the travelers, not only the students and pupils. Details in this report by Innocent.
Travel agencies flooded by children accompanied by their parents or guardians to begin the 2021-2022 academic year this Monday, September 6th. Some of the children leaving Douala, where they spent their 3 months holiday, say all went well and they are ready to embrace the academic year with a lot of determination.
I'm going to Ngaoundere for school resumption. I'm well prepared to embrace the new academic year as I'm facing the examination this year, so I'm well prepared. I've been revising some past questions. My determination this year is to pass my exam and make my parents proud. Very, very sure.
Another would pass for resumption, gets an accident days to back to school. He says the accident that affected his left eye will, however, not hinder him resuming school on Monday. Considering the fact that at the last minute, children travel in their numbers, managers of interurban transport agencies adopt measures to flexibly and safely transport these children to their respective destinations.
We've been experiencing a lot of mass return of children, be it from Yaoundé, from all our agencies all over Cameroon. That's why the creator of this company took upon himself to bring a program that it is filled by the person bringing the child and another one filled by the person taking the child from each agency. That the destination of the child go with the presentation of an ID card or an information valid by the Cameroon government. With
the transport minister's warning for agencies to curb accidents or face a suspension, managers play safe.
Habitually, we've always taken measures during this period to control our speed, our drivers.
As reporting there, while some parents, pupils and students are yet to get ready ahead of the next school resumption, over 100 pupils and students across Cameroon with brilliant performance in the last end-of-year examinations have been awarded special prizes and school materials. This was during a celebration, the celebration of the 14th edition of Academic Excellence, organized by Papiteri Nono in Douala under the theme Promotion of National Colors. Details in this report.
Faithful to his societal engagement and promotion of education in Cameroon, Papiteri Nono celebrates his 14th edition of Excellence. Once again, Papiteri Nono reaches out to over 100 pupils and students across Cameroon with special awards and back-to-school items, amongst them Schneider prizes.
Ça me fait du bien et je dis, je veux qu'il continue dans cette lancée.
Some of these students were elevated and distinguished with special packages.
I'm very happy. It's an honor for me to be the major this year. And I thank Papi Nono for all what he has done for me throughout these 5 I've been here. Je remercie beaucoup la Papiteri Nono pour les efforts qu'elle consent à féliciter, à récompenser les meilleurs élèves.
They call on their mates to work hard to experience such a happiness.
To be the major, you must be hardworking, sacrifice nights to study, keep away all distractions from you and just study. Être toujours ardent au travail. Ne négliger aucune matière pour obtenir de bons résultats.
With the rise of hate speech in Cameroon, Papiteri Nono enjoins youth to be patriotic, reason why it baptizes the 14th edition of Excellence, promotion of the national colors.
De plus en plus on assiste à des...
That the rise of hate speech in the country is alarming, and time for him to protect the youth from engaging in it, but to discourse excellence and a united Cameroon.
Discours l'excellence.
Through this initiative, Papiteri Nono salutes the great sacrifices made by teachers to impact these youth knowledge. Papiteri Nono invites learners to seriously embrace the upcoming academic year. The laureates returned joyfully to their respective homes, hoping to be back when Papiteri Nono celebrates its 15th edition of Excellence.
After allegations of 600 million francs CFA said to have been stolen from the residence of the ambassador of the Republic of Cameroon to Gabon went viral on social media, Equinoxe television put to work its fact-checking machine, and we have found out that 600 million francs CFA was never stolen from the residence of the ambassador of Cameroon to Gabon, but rather 40 million francs CFA was stolen by the house made, and the 40 million francs CFA, according to our findings, was meant for the rehabilitation of the embassy of the Republic of Cameroon to Gabon and the residence of the ambassador of Cameroon. That is what we found out. According to our investigation, the money was given to the ambassador of the Republic of Cameroon, Jean Nonga, by the financial manager or accountant of the embassy for the rehabilitation of the embassy of Cameroon in Gabon and the residence of the ambassador. You will have greater details on this at 8 p.m. Cameroon plays against Malawi in a World Cup qualification game at 8 p.m. tonight, and that encounter will be taking place without the local press. And local journalists, notably of the private press, have been barred from covering that encounter, and that is what provoked this reaction of journalists during the pre-match press conference yesterday, who were protesting, decrying and condemning what is considered as an attack on press freedom and the right to information of Cameroonians. And that encounter will be taking place without journalists of the local press, but we have information that journalists of international press have been admitted to cover that encounter. We're going to be talking more about this in the talking points. For now, take a listen to these journalists who spoke to us.
My name is Leocadia Bomben, sports journalist.
We talked to some sports journalists.
I also equally do sports for BBC. Yes, it's unbelievable, because first of all they said we should send accreditations, which we did, and there is really no explanation as to why the media or the press will not be at the Olembe Stadium. 30 journalists for me is not, or are not the people who are going to transmit COVID to the players. So it's maybe they need to tell us exactly what the problem is, because from what I can observe, the field is not, how can I say it? The field is not, it's ready, but there is no security around the field to stop spectators. But I don't know why we journalists who are not spectators, why we should not be there. So there's something they're not telling us, which they should come out clear and tell us that.
Giovanni Wane, writer with sportsglitz.net. Well, the information just came in that journalists will not be allowed to cover the game tomorrow, the game pitting Cameroon against Malawi. Well, I'm coming all the way from Boya, and I came to Yaoundé yesterday because I had to do the press conference for Malawi, the Flames of Malawi, and later on the press conference for the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon scheduled for today. Then this bombshell comes in. I think it's really a big, as colleagues have referred to it, really big deception that will not be able to cover the game tomorrow, principally because of the fact that we are left to cover the press conference before the game, which is some sort of tradition that when you cover the press conference before the game, you are to do the game and afterwards the afters of the press conference. So I think it's just a big deception. And yeah, most colleagues like myself have had their feelings shattered to the walls.
Talking Point is up next. John Stamfu, freelance journalist, one of the officials of the Douala chapter of the Cameroon English-speaking Journalists Association, joining us today. John Stamfu, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Babila. It's a pleasure. We journalists, we cry out for people. We make sure people's problems are being solved, but we have our own problems, and there's nobody to cry on our behalf. If you give this opportunity in your platform for us to come and express some of our worries, I think that is a great thing, and we are very happy for you receiving us today, and we are saying hello to all Cameroonians who are watching us out there, and all the journalists around the world and those in Cameroon. It's a pleasure.
In the 21st century, journalists have been barred from covering an encounter on grounds that the respective measures within the context of the fight against coronavirus. What do you think about that?
it's a shame. It's a shame. You know, this COVID-19, people have used it to settle their scores, because if there's an encounter, if a football encounter, that will assemble a great number of persons who are coming as spectators to watch the football match. No restrictions are being put in place, but only journalists who are from the private press, let us be precise, who are to cover the event are being prohibited. I think that it's not fair. It's very unfair, because if people can come to the field, to the stadiums, and watch the match, I think that journalists are also free to come and cover the matches. In other places around the world, we have seen games are going on, activities are going on. Why should Cameroon be, the case of Cameroon be different? This is a match of an international standard. So journalists or the private press have all the right to cover it. So I don't know why the government is taking such a decision at this point in time.
And that encounter will be taking place at Wicklow. That is, there will be no supporters in the stadium, according to the decisions taken by the football authorities at the continental and at the world level, with the Confederation of African Football and the World Football Governing Body, FIFA. But there was a call for accreditation by FECAFOOD and the Ministry of Communication. There was a call for accreditation, and it was said that the first 30 journalists who will ask for accreditation, that those are those who will be authorized to cover the Cameroon-Malawi game. But today it is everybody, nobody to cover the game, except for
even the 30
international press.
Even the 30 is not enough for Cameroon, because we have so many major houses in Cameroon. Taking 30 is biased. I think that if we have to say that,
and not even the 30 are not,
they're not accepted anymore.
Just everybody.
I think Cameroon has just once more indicated and shown to the world that press freedom is not present in Cameroon after the 1996 constitution, which says that there's freedom of expression on the press. Where is the press freedom after all? Because journalists have been victims in this Cameroon when it comes to press freedom. You don't cover the news as you should cover. When you go to report a news, they tell you that you are coming to support. But I'm telling the authorities that we don't go to support. When there's a clash in between maybe people who are manifesting and the military men, you go there, you attempt an accomplice to those manifesting. I think that those things have to stop, because this country, our authorities are making us to understand that we in Cameroon, we are in a democracy. But yet, if there's no freedom of the press in the democracy, then I don't think that there's any democracy. If you say that only the state media is supposed to cover certain events, I don't think that is making any sense. And they even give priority to to foreign media houses to cover the event. Meanwhile, the local media houses cannot cover the event. Why didn't they tell those people that you cannot come into our country because of the COVID-19 that has hit the whole world? You cannot come to our country because our local media will cover, them cover and send you images. But they accept the foreign media to come in, cover the event, while the local media will be begging from the. It is really, really sad. I think that time has come for journalists to start crying out loud, because it is getting too much. It's exaggerated. Look, this is just one of the cases, because what journalists go through every day, this is even the list. I'm telling you, so many are still in prison simply because they found themselves in a protest, maybe covering what's happening. We just go to cover an event and then report to the population. We don't go to join the people manifesting to manifest.
Journalists are not activists.
Journalists are not activists. And when you continue behaving like this, you now begin to push so many journalists to activism, and which is not good. Because look at like what's happening in the north and the southwest. So many stories are there that are unreported, because the government has made it clear that when you report a story from there that is not favorable to the government, it means that you are supporting the secessionist movement. And when you report a story that is not favorable to the secessionists, they term you a blackleg, they are an enabler. So the journalists find themselves in the middle position, and they are helpless. People have been caught. People like Conrad, who recorded a video of people of a clash between the men in uniform and people who were protesting. He was telling of secession. He was judged under secession and terrorism.
Meanwhile, he was just covering
meaning Joker Kingsley was still in detention.
So many of them was easily died in detention. People even went there that they should give the corpse so that the family can bury. They said, "I know they're holding the corpse for investigation." How do you investigate the corpse? And they said that he was communicating with the secessionists. Where are the proofs that he was communicating with the secessionists? So the country has made it. The government is making life very hard for the journalists to do their job. The police are out there; they do their job freely. The government workers, they do their job freely. Why don't they leave the journalists to also do their own job freely, as they should do it? Because now when you report and the report is not favorable to whosoever, because he finds himself in a position of power. He knows that he has the military with him. He just sends them behind you and then they catch you and lock you up and nothing happens.
And it's not only about journalists but about the population as a whole. We're talking about the right to information enshrined in national and international legal instruments.
Yes, the right to information in this country too is a problem, because I remember the last time the executive bureau of the Douala Association of English-speaking journalists in Cameroon went to the governor of Littoral region, and that was one of the things at the table there. They don't have access to information. When you go to authorities that they should give you information, communicate and all that, they're not willing to do it. They're not willing to do it. But when it is information that will be favorable to them, they start running behind you to make sure that you prosecute it, to make sure that you send it out there. But when it is the one that will help everybody and the country at large, they are not willing to help you. But the governor of the Littoral region, Emmanuel Dibois, Samuel Ivan Dibois. Yes, Ivan Dibois. Sorry for the name. He said that the journalist should count on him, that anytime you go to any service and they refuse to give you information, you should call him and he will make sure he sees into it. I think that if he should stay by his word, the journalists in Douala will practice better than what they are doing.
And beyond that, journalists are requesting for an Information Act to be adopted in Cameroon, and that will certainly compel those who are holding information, especially state officials, to give the information to the journalists.
Absolutely. I don't know what giving information will cost somebody. The information is there. If you give the information or you don't give the information, news is news. If something has happened, it's supposed to be reported, be it favorable to you or not favorable to you. I remember Tumfon Barrister Nico Halle used to say that normally journalism was supposed to be the fourth arm of government,
the fourth arm of the state,
the fourth arm of the state, because journalism is very important when it comes to nation building. Because through a journalist, a nation can be built, can be made better, and through a journalist, a nation can be destroyed. Right, and with the journalists now, we are practicing censorship, because of you are afraid of what you dish out there. The government is the other way, the other people are the other way, you are in the middle.
Thanks, John Stanfu, freelance journalist, one of the officials of the Douala branch of the Cameroon English-Speaking Journalists Association. Kamasers, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today. La Presse Dispute comes up live from the nation's capital, Yaoundé, and after that, Equinoxe. Stay with us.